my friends. As you know, life is suffering. I think if any of you, if you've been watching my content for perhaps more than 5 to 10 minutes, you must know life is entirely about developing a resistance for suffering. And I'm afraid not many of you are going to be able to survive the threshold that I have set for you in today's segment. So please, if you are weak of heart, do not be foolhardy. Do not continue, because this is some primo fucking doomer fuel. Videos from right-wing site that preaches the left ruins everything assigned in Ohio school. PragerU videos were recently assigned in an Ohio classroom. Turns out the right-wing site is looking to further its influence in K-12 settings. An Ohio public school has been giving students extra credit for watching videos from PragerU, a right-wing website that produces clips of talking heads such as Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro discussing conservative viewpoints, the Huffington Post has learned. They were assigned to a 10th grade history class, that's 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds, depending, in Maumee High School. Maumee? Maumee High School. Along with a series of questions about the video's most important messages. The assignment came at the same time the website is trying to gain further influence in K-12 classrooms. Earlier this month, the organization launched a program directly aimed at parents and educators, complete with study guides with sections such as Conservatives Are the Real Environmentalists and The Ferguson Lie, based on a Huffington Post review of the materials. Now, wait, so this is high school, not college? Yep. Now, I have a couple of things to say about this. First of all, there is exactly one context in which it is acceptable to show a PragerU video in a classroom, and that is in a study on propaganda. I have watched many PragerU videos. They are very bad. And when I say bad, I don't mean they're poorly produced. They are well produced, actually. I mean they are bad in that they are dishonest, propagandistic, created with a political motive, and uniformly a deliberate effort to promote brainwashing. There are ways to educate people about a topic, even a topic with a strong political bias, without being propagandistic. You can introduce different ways of thinking. You can lead students to given conclusions by giving them the thought processes necessary to arrive there. Even if you're talking about a very politically charged issue, let's say, for example, George Floyd's killing. Now, in my personal opinion, there's one right answer to George Floyd's killing, that is to say, it is bad. And the people who disagree with that are usually people mind-muddled by conspiracy theories about fentanyl and body cam clips and him consenting to dying because he said he didn't want to, but in a weird way. And while those positions are batshit, that does not mean my position is not politically motivated. It certainly is. I have political motivations. But you can bring students to arrive at the positions I hold by presenting information to them in an unbiased and fact-oriented way. It is the process of learning that enriches people's minds, not just the information they have. PragerU videos are not designed to provide people with the thought processes necessary to come to their own conclusions. They're not meant to enrich your capacity for thought. They are tin pit propaganda videos made by millionaires being paid by hedge fund and oil billionaires. And it is fitting that they are now trying to make a push to have these videos presented in K through 12 classrooms, because it is in these classrooms that you will find people most susceptible to bad propaganda. Most reasonable people can watch a PragerU video and see how it's bullshit. It's pretty easy. I've watched a lot of them. They're not very well put together when it comes to the arguments they lay out, because conservatives tend not to put much thought into their arguments. Their arguments tend to be kind of bad or dishonest, and you have to lie about your motivations or your influences in order to justify the conclusions you had already decided you were going to come to. Why am I saying all this? Anyone who's watching me right now already knows that Prager University is bad. Phenomenal, great. Why am I talking about this? Do you know how many emails I've gotten from students asking me what to do since their teacher showed a PragerU video in class over the past month? Not just PragerU. There are other conservative video channels that do similar content. It's quite a few. I have genuinely lost count. And I have a fairly young audience. A lot of the people watching right now are young. I'm hip and fresh. I'm with it. So, you know, the bip and bop and the kids, they like it. And for that reason, I have been exposed to a pretty broad subset of students who are now watching their teachers show off conservative propaganda in class. Is it illegal? No, it's not illegal. Not at all. It is not illegal to show political propaganda in class. In my 7th grade social studies video, my teacher showed us a PragerU video about Israel. 7th grade. This segment is what to do if you are in school and your teacher has shown a PragerU video. Because I get asked it quite a bit. So let's just lay it out. First of all, if this is a question you're asking, I'm going to assume you're somewhere between the ages of 13 and 18, which is the potential range of ages people will typically be in high school. If you're in middle school, things get different, things get trickier, but if you are within that age range, if you are within high school, then there is generally a pretty reliable set of things you can do to deal with this. Now, first of all, you have to ask yourself, why do you have a problem with this? If you recognize PragerU as a bad thing to be shown in a classroom, you probably aren't worried about getting radicalized yourself. You're probably worried about your classmates getting radicalized, correct? Going to assume that's correct. If you're worried about your classmates getting radicalized, then you're essentially dealing with a microcosm of the same issue I deal with every day. In an optical sense, how do you take a conservative disinfo piece and frame it in a way that minimizes its ability to radicalize your peers? And that's a very difficult question. There are two basic routes that you can take here. You can respond within the classroom, and you can respond without the classroom. Without the classroom is much, much easier. This largely depends on where your high school is, what the disposition of your teachers and your faculty are, but as a general rule, if your teacher is showing a PragerU video, they are not qualified to teach, flat out. Unless they're showing it to be broken down and criticized by the classroom, if they're showing this to you, they are, as far as I'm concerned, unfit to teach. Either because they are stupid and actually believe the video at its face, or because they are political propagandists and they are more interested in indoctrination than they are in getting you to learn and develop and all that other crap you're supposed to do in school, okay? Most of this shit is probably happening in red states. If you're in California, you're probably not running into teachers throwing PragerU videos up that often. I imagine it varies, and California is a big place, too. Fine, inner city New York City. Probably not so much. Yeah, maybe NorCal. It can definitely happen. Now, wherever you are, here are some steps that you can take outside of the classroom. First of all, you should bring it to your fucking parents, okay? Remember, when you are talking about why PragerU is bad, don't talk about how the videos are bad or wrong. Bad or wrong things get shown all the time in classrooms. Whatever. The problem is that they are deliberate, dishonest propaganda pieces. That is the issue that you need to focus on. If you talk about them being bad or wrong, you're going to get caught up in actually attacking the premises of the video, or your arguments are going to come off unpersuasive because, again, weird, bad videos get shown in classrooms all the time. If they are deliberate propaganda pieces, though, no different really from being shown like a foreign country's, like video presentation on how their dictator is a god who will live forever and one day conquer the world so we may all live in peace, then your arguments become a little bit easier for a normie to digest. You need to emphasize the political propaganda element. It's not normal for that shit to be shown in classrooms. Tell your parents if you think they'd be amicable. And you know what? Fuck yeah, tell your dean or your principal or whatever upper official you have. If you can talk to the student newspaper, you should as well. I know this sounds like dumb Libby or whatever, but you're a student. You've got limited options. You should make a fuss about this. But you need to make it clear you're not making a fuss because it's conservative. In fact, you should never even say conservative propaganda once. Because the moment it sounds to people like your problem with the video is its bias, people are going to dismiss you as somebody who's just mad the conservatives have facts you don't. It is a political propaganda piece made by billionaires to push given issues with no nuance or room for contrary thought. That's what you got to focus on. Now, of course, these are conservative videos. There's no denying that. But when you focus on that, you give people something to attack. Don't say, this is a conservative think piece. Don't say, this is some crazy far-right shit. Say, these are political propaganda pieces that are made to push and brainwash people who watch them, and they are bringing it to our schools. That's the line you got to go for. Bring it to the student newspaper. Bring it to the parents. Bring it to the principal. Bring it to the other faculty in the same department as the teacher who is showing it to you. Bring it to, if you can, actual journalists. Especially if you live in a smaller community. Given the right conditions, that could actually be a decent story to look at. And it is only through journalism that we even got this. Journalists can be great allies if you are willing to go through the effort and jump through the hoops necessary to talk to them. But before you do any of that, if you can, you should talk to the teacher. Sometimes, and I know this is difficult to believe, sometimes the teacher is just going to show a PragerU video because it's just got kind of a position they already agree with, and they're just going to show it because they found it, and it looks like it has a high production value, and they just wanted to show it to the class. If you go up to the teacher and you say, if this is before the video has been presented, hey, just so you know, PragerU is like a really propagandistic organization with a lot of financial backing from certain political organizations. I don't think it's appropriate to show this. These videos are full of disinformation. That can sometimes be enough. Couldn't the same be said about the Gravel Institute? Two differences there. First of all, no, left-leaning videos aren't full of the same disinformation that right-leaning videos are. Very important. And second of all, teachers aren't showing fucking left-leaning videos in their classes, okay? Be really clear about that, okay? I would love to live in a world where teachers all over the place are showing fucking, like, socialist propaganda in their classrooms, you know? Yeah, do recognize if you do this to a professor that they're probably going to dislike you, and they're probably not going to listen to you either, but you should at least try. Because the last thing you want is to stir up a fuss with, like, local media or the principal, and the teacher comes in and they say, I didn't hear anything about this. You know? That's the big difference there. How do you explain to someone that something is political propaganda if asked? Yeah, easy. First of all, funding. Second of all, intention. Third of all, presentation. Fourth of all, sourcing. All of those are components to political propaganda. Who is funding it? Where is the money coming from? Why is it being built? For what reason is it being shown? How does it present the information? Does it attempt to educate, or does it merely present one side of an incredibly biased issue? And finally, does PragerU cite its sources? If a video essay doesn't cite any sources when it's trying to make fact-driven claims, then there's no reason it should ever be shown in a classroom, period. So that's stuff that you can do outside of the classroom. But what if you're in the classroom itself? What if you're right there watching the PragerU video? Well, if you're feeling brave, depending on the classroom and the disposition of your coworkers and the teacher and a lot of other stuff, you can push back. I spent my entire high school pushing back against people who I disagreed with, whether that was the professor or the students. Oh, did I say coworkers? Classmates. Sorry, coworkers. You know, I spent my entire school my entire school career, you know, arguing aggressively with everyone. And while it earned me no friends, it did help me develop a skill set that I'm now able to make a career out of. So, you know, who knows? You vocally argued with the teachers? Fuck yeah, I argued with the teachers. Absolutely. What are they going to do? Shoot me? What are they going to do? Suspend me? Again? What do you want from me? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Over dumb shit, too. Not even with the good shit. I got better at arguing about good shit only over time. But initially, it was just anything. Yeah, for sure. I love arguing. Fuck it. What fail out of fucking 4th grade English class? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Did you get good grades in those classes? No, I did not. So you shouldn't be as relentless with your disagreements as I did, as I was back then. You should be more tactical. And this is now the second segment. I am now going to tell you what you can do to deal with the presentation of a PragerU or another conservative disinfo video live. Now, some disclaimers. First of all, you shouldn't disagree while the video is playing, obviously. Second of all, never come across as triggered. Holy fuck, this is so much more important, especially with like teenagers than it is with regular ass people, okay? Never, ever, ever come across like you're upset by the contents of the video. Holy God. The only time that you can ever play that off, the only time that's acceptable to play that off, is if you legitimately think that your classmates are so left-leaning that they will actually feel sympathy for your emotional appeal over the well-presented disinfo propaganda of the PragerU video. And that is not going to happen that often, because kids are cruel as fuck, okay? Kids are mean motherfuckers, all right? They really are. And some of us grow out of them, some of us grow out of that tendency, and some of us are still conservatives, okay? So, listen, here's what you got to do. First of all, you stay calm, okay? Always calm. The only time you shouldn't be calm is if you're laughing. That's the only time it's acceptable to interrupt the video. If you laugh tactically at a couple of especially stupid points in the video, like when they show one of their graphs that don't have a labeled X or Y axis, that can be good, optically speaking. If there's a classroom discussion about the video, which there almost certainly is going to be after the video, or like as they pause it, they'll discuss like in little bits of it. You should think of and look for bits you can argue against from an objective perspective. For example, if they display information you know for a fact is incorrect, confidently dispute it if you have the opportunity to do so. Don't come across obnoxious. Don't be like, ha, that's not true. I saw a video from my favorite YouTuber, Vosh, who you can subscribe to on Vosh.gg, and the statistics he showed in his document showed otherwise. Like, don't be annoying. Okay? Politics is a popularity contest. The fascist with a slick haircut will always win out over the socialist with the ratty jacket, okay? It's unfortunate, but it's life. So come off looking good. Ideally, you should all be 6'4" football jock chads, but I know that's not that likely. That can't happen for everyone, okay? I'm only 6'2". Life is cruel. So with when the discussion goes up, look for particularly goofy bits, okay? Obviously wrong information. Those stupid fucking graphs they do that make no sense. Infographics or emotional appeals made in the video. If you want to criticize the video directly, you need to be sort of detached, you know? Like, let me give you an example, okay? Here, I'll give you an example. Watch. I'm going to give you live. We can do this. I'm on a computer. Watch this. Are you all looking respectfully right now? Are we all good? What's a good PragerU video to demonstrate appropriate tactics? Let's find does college equal success? This is kind of fitting for an education one. Let's get a look.
Maybe the dumbest thing you can do is go to the place that's supposed to make you smart. That would be college. Now, perhaps I'm
That would be an appropriate time to scoff, by the way.
Biased. I don't have a college degree, although I employ a lot of people who do, and from some of the most prestigious universities in the country. I made a conscious choice. I had clear career ambitions, and I didn't see how a college degree was going to get me there. In retrospect, I'm confident I made the right decision. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of a company called The Daily Wire. We publish news and commentary from a conservative point of view. We have well over 100 employees and an audience which numbers in the millions every single day. Now, I don't have a problem if you go to college. It's a free country, do what you want. But the idea that somehow college is the great pathway to success and fulfillment, that I don't buy. The left takes a different view. They are obsessed with higher education. To them...
So here's another pointer, by the way. Most PragerU videos are going to refer sort of broadly to the left. If the left is referred to in any sort of derogatory way, you can question that more aggressively. Not from the perspective of, I am a leftist and this is not correct about us, but if you say stuff like, no they aren't, or no they don't, you can get a long way with that. The reason for that is because while people won't take you seriously if you claim to be a leftist, if you broadly challenge the claims made in the video, you put the people in the classroom in the unfortunate position of having to sort of implicitly defend it. And here's the secret. If you challenge a claim in the video and the professor doesn't have a response to that, you can ask the professor the killer question. Why did you show us this? If you get an opportunity to ask the professor that question, which you should only do after you have in some way impugned the legitimacy of this PragerU video, you have them. Because there are only a couple of things the professor can say from that point. The most likely one is, well, I wanted us to have a classroom discussion on this. To which your answer should be, like, on how bad it is, or that it's bias, or it's the propaganda, or like we talk about how wrong it is, or very rarely is a professor going to have the stones to actually defend the stupid fucking premises in a PragerU video. But if they actually want to defend it, and here's the key, you want to put them on the defensive, that's when you have the opportunity to ask them the follow-up question. Why don't they provide any sources in the description of these videos? If you can ask them that, what exactly does the professor have the opportunity to answer with? What exactly is their retort to that? The professor has to do one of two things at this point. They either have to abandon the perceived legitimacy of the video, which if they do that in front of the classroom, you've won, by the way. That's it. You've won right there. If you ask, why don't they include sources in the video? And the professor says, I don't know, I guess they just didn't. And then you say something like, oh, that seems like a weird omission. And that's it. That's it. You're told in the classroom, you've done all the work you're going to be able to do. Congratulations. Optically, you've completely won this interaction. If the professor actually tries to defend the premises in the video, which is entirely possible that they would do that, remember, your job isn't to actually disprove the video. Your job is to indicate that the video is a bad representation of the arguments the professor is now trying to make. The professor will say, I don't know, I'm not the one who made the video. That's fantastic. If the professor says, I don't know, I'm not the one who made the video, you can just say something really neutral like, oh, these seem like a lot of weighted claims. You should probably find videos that source their arguments from now on, you know? Yeah, you're showing it to us. There are so many responses that you can get, but you have to remember, they do use sources. First of all, nobody fucking knows that. You think anybody who watches PragerU looks at the fucking sources? Second of all the sources they use are sourced towards far-right sites. If you start looking at these sites and all the sources are from fucking The Daily Wire or Breitbart, in fact, we can look right here, actually. Hey, hold on. Where's the sources? To view the script sources, watch this. Help support our mission. Oh, that's interesting. So you're trying to look at the sources. First, you get the video, then you get the description, then you get the email sign-up sheet, then you get the donation link, then you get the recommended for you. Wait, where do you get the... Here, facts and sources. Studies have consistently found that college faculty members who identify as liberal greatly outnumber self-identified conservative faculty members. Yeah, no shit. Liberals are more educated. A 2016 study of faculty voter registration at 40 leading U.S. universities in the fields of blah, 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 found Democrats outnumber Republicans. So here's the kicker, folks. The video is full of wacky prescriptive claims about the left. The sources are just affirming the fact that Democrats are more educated than Republicans. Related video, college made me conservative. That's not a source. Oh, a source, another PragerU video. Wow, that's damn. I didn't know you could do that. When you see this, ask your professor if you can do this in your papers, by the way. Source, remember that other paper I wrote for you at the beginning of the semester? Yeah, ask them if they can do that. And then when they say no, ask why this educational institution that calls itself a university is holding itself to a lower standard of citation etiquette than you would be as a high schooler. A 2018 survey of 900 college administrators found they are far more liberal. Yeah. Again, all of these sources are either bunk or just about how most people who are educated are liberal. Damn. Well, that can affirm a number of conclusions. America underperforms globally in many areas in education, ranking 13th in the world in reading, 18th in scientific literacy, and 37th in math. You know which countries are doing better than us? Ones with higher standards for public education. Despite these low rankings, America has produced the most Nobel laureates of any country. This doesn't disprove anything? Wait, I'm not entirely sure what argument this is even meant to affirm. America is consistently among the world's leader in technological innovations annually. Hey, here's a great question if you see this, by the way. Hey, the people who are making those technological innovations, did they go to university or did they not go to university? On average. Also, yeah, we have a massive population, so there's going to be skewing with all this data. Why is college so expensive? The U.S. is also the biggest exporter of entertainment of any country. A lot of these citations here have nothing to do with the fundamental claims in the video, and the rest of them are either irrelevant or are just affirming a liberal conclusion that education makes you more liberal. As a general rule, if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, taking a look at the sources is only going to support your argument. Now, keep in mind, America is 15th for Nobel Prize winners per capita. That's a good piece of information to know. Ask questions like, yeah, that's a great question. By the way, don't give arguments. Just ask questions. The Socratic method is phenomenal for PragerU because these arguments are so fucking brain dead that you don't even need to challenge them directly. All you need to do is ask people questions about defending them. Yeah, just jack off with them. Fuck it. Yeah. Is that adjusted per capita or is that just like our raw numbers? Because we have a huge population. Oh, it's saying right there that there are more liberals in university. Does that really mean that there's a bias, or does that mean that you tend to be more educated and then become liberal? They're saying that our education is really, really bad relative to other countries, and these are the people who want to privatize our education? You don't have to say anything like, I'm a lefty and I find this offensive. Fuck that, dude. Just ask questions. I understand that what I've said here is a little bit broad, and the arguments that I just said are kind of specific to this video because of this particular source, field. But you have to understand there are no good PragerU videos. No matter what the video is, there are going to be these weak points that you're going to be able to exploit using the Socratic method. And if you can do that, sorry, the Jocko video is good. My bad. The Jocko video is good. What do you do if somebody tries to argue for the video? If they're arguing for the video, then almost by default, their arguments are going to be worse than your arguments by way of them being pro-PragerU and you being anti-PragerU. By the way, if they're really arguing for it and you don't have like an immediate counter, just keep asking questions. Again, you don't need to disprove the video. You only need to indicate or suggest that it is not worthy of being taken seriously. Does that make sense? Just poke holes, Just poke holes, baby. You don't need to create an entire counter narrative. You don't need to address every single argument they make. Just poke holes. Obviously, doing this properly will require a great deal of confidence. And for that reason, I don't suggest all of you do it. Hey, Daddy Vosh, what if teacher goes on with irrational arguments, like if they go on, they have a right to their opinion or some other right-wing delusional ride? Hold on. If a teacher ever says they have a right to their opinion to defend educational material being presented in class, you should call them out. Are you like, what do you mean their opinion? This is a classroom. Shouldn't we be shown, aren't we being educated? What do you mean they have a right to their opinion? Is just every opinion okay to present to us right now? Like, no matter how correct it is? There are responses to all of this. I promise you. Now, obviously, responding to this in person in the classroom is nerve-wracking and exhausting and tiring and very, very difficult to do, like, perfectly. And for that reason, I'm not suggesting all of you do it and then you'll feel bad if you don't do it perfectly. I'm only saying these are tools you can use if you find yourself in this position and you feel confident. It's that simple. And the more often that class, by the way, presents PragerU videos, the more opportunities you will have to poke holes in them. If you have a feeling they're going to continue showing these videos after all, like over the course of a single semester, it's not just a matter of, in one video, finishing it off. It's about every time you add another piece of disinfo, you poke another hole or two, and eventually you reach a point where you're just laughing at them. Whatever the case may be, what if they get pissed off? If a teacher gets pissed off because you're asking honest questions about the legitimacy of educational material, you've won. Just ask them. Ask them another question. Why are you getting angry just because I'm asking questions about the curriculum you're showing us? Right wing destroyed, baby. God help you if you're being shown these videos. Hopefully this information is somewhat helpful. Good luck. Don't get suspended. And remember, the best thing that you can do is get the professor to stop doing what they're doing externally by getting media attention on them, by getting the principal to be upset with them, to get your parents to throw a fuss, that sort of thing. It's up to you. But those are some ideas.